This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Some people yesterday night that few years in Rosh Hashanah, every Rosh Hashanah night, the people in Bnei Brak, thousands of people come to, after Ma'ariv, they go to Reb Chaim and ask broche for a good year. So thousands of people come one after another. There was a big line, long line under the house, and thousands of people come to ask Shana Toivo. So few years ago, Reb Chaim said everyone a good year, and two people from all the thousands who go over there, Reb Chaim can't say the words Shana Tova for two people from the thousands who go over there. And after this, in the meal time, he was bothered from it. He said, why my mouth can't say the word to these two people Shana Tova? I just can't open the mouth and say them the words. I wonder why. And those two people passed away that year. He can't open the mouth and say the word Shana Tova to people who has Gzar Din that not going to live at that year. Yeah. Okay. Afterwards, I wasn't there in Rosh Hashanah. Yeah. Yeah. It's very often happened, almost every day, there was in the line in the Kabbalah school, there was many people with the same problem, and for one of the people, Reb Chaim said, do something, and for the other, do the other thing. And many times we ask him, why to the same problem, you said for one, do this, and for the other, do the other thing? And he said, there isn't something logical about it. I don't spend much time to think about it. What Min HaShomayim put in my mouth, that's what I'm doing. And everyone who listened to what he said him to do, bimatzliach. What anyway? The door story. Okay. Yeah. Koyach harikuz. How you say the word? Focus. The power of focus of Reb Chaim was mamish, not normal, not human even. There was a story, a very nice story, that the Reb Chaim, let's start it from the beginning. Reb Chaim has one floor at his house. And the Rebbetzin, every person who knocked the door, I have a question to the Rav, I want to get a broche from the Rav, okay, come in. And they interfere him to learning. And every 2 minutes someone come in. It's very was bothering him that he can learn seriously. And after it, one woman, her husband passed away, and she wanted to do something Leilu Nishmosoi. So she decided to bring Reb Chaim to build him a new floor. So she built the third floor at Reb Chaim's house. And Reb Chaim told me a few times, he mamish had tremendous akora satoiv for this woman, that now he can run away from the world. He can lock himself out in the third floor, and no one can bother him. So there was an iron door. No? Okay. There was an iron door over there, and just Reb Chaim had the key for that door. The Rebbetzin wasn't a key. She hadn't a key. Because if she has the key, so we're in the same situation. So every day, before Mincha, before Ma'ariv, 10 minutes before, the Rebbetzin was going upstairs and knocking and shouting and say, Reb Chaim, come, prepare to the Daven, Mincha and Ma'ariv. Every day it was like this. One day, the Rebbetzin go up the stairs and call him, and Reb Chaim didn't answer nothing. She tried harder, and koil ve'en oine. She called for one of the person in the house, one of the men, he has a louder voice, and he shout, nothing. The mamish became nervous. They don't know what to do. And they come with a hammer, knocking with a hammer on the door. Nothing at all. They were sure something happened to the Rav, and they call locksman to break the door. Someone come, break the door. They coming in a rush. They see Reb Chaim sit and learn on the table as usual. They told him, they asked him, what, the Rav didn't hear? We shout, we knock, we broke the door. The Rav didn't hear? He said, no, I was in the sugya. They didn't hear nothing at all. And now we can see something. Save me.
שלום, שוקי. מועד. שלום הרב. כן, זה לא שלי, אני פה בסחירות, אבל פה אני נמצא. אני פה, כמה מטרים מפה.
תקחו אותה, לאה תקחו אותה.
נו, אני שואל אם אפשר רק לא להפריע?
זה סתם סמבר.
את האור. שרקיח שהרב טרח והגיע. אני אומר שרקיח שהרב טרח והגיע.
הגענו בין כך, ירושלים. יש לו חמי.
כן. הרב היה כבר בכותל מסתומה. הרב היה בכותל מסתומה.
גם בכותל ראיתי, כן.
עכשיו יש לי כמה יורס לרב. הרב כתב שקידוש החודש דינו כדינו עם מומניס, וזה לא כשיטס הירושלמי. ובשקל הקודש שאחרי זה הרב הוציא, הרב כתב שזה לא מחלוקס למעשה. אפשר לומר שזה לא מחלוקס ביניהם. הרב גם פה אמר שגמור דידון פליגו, אבל יש לומר שזה לא נכון. צריך להעין. פעין? בסדר גמור. יהיה האחרונה.
I don't think I needed the Ramco. Yeah. Okay. Every visit, I need something to talk with Reb Chaim. I can't just sit and stare on him, right? So I arranged some tikkunim for his forum, and I show him that. And after it, he took the sefer and put the tikkunim on after when he do a new print.
הרב דחה שיכול להיות שלא כל תוך הפשט אמצע, יכול להיות שהפשט הוא למילות הקצוות, להפוקי הקצוות. אז תוך לא מחויב שזה אמצע, אפילו שהוא כותב מציאתה. זה רוצה להגיד לרב, הרב כתב פה שיש מחלוקת, זה סביר על דגושן זו על שפת הים, וחולק על תרגם יונסון שמוס דגושן באמצע מצרים. שם גם, הגושן הזה, התרגם יונסון תרגם במציאוס, לאו דווקא על אמצע. להפוקי על זה, אז למעשה אין מחלוקת. בדקתי את זה כמה פעמים מחומץ עליו, הרב יכול להיות רגוע, בדקתי את זה טוב מחומץ. עכשיו רק אני אראה לרב פשיילי במזוז. אבל הרב לא עשה ברוכה, רק אני אשים לרב טיפה סודה? אפשר טיפה? הרב יעשה ברוכה? הרב פשיילי היא כזאת במזוז.
The question about mezuzah is, here I have this door.
השאלה אם זה כותל או לא
Is this
כותל.
considered a wall or not? I can open it, but I never do. The rabbi,
כי אם קבע חצי פתח בקרש קבוע והדלת נכנסת לתוכו כמו שעושים הרבה בזמן האחרון, מסתבר שהמקום הסתום לא נחשב בכלל לפתח. ויש לקבוע מזוזה בפנים בחצי הפתוח. שאלה, איפה פה צריך לקבוע את המזוזה?
אתה לא פותח אף פעם?
אולי פעם בשנה, אולי בשביל פסח לנקות, אולי.
פסח אתה פותח.
השאלה אם זה גם החלון הזה, זה מבטל את זה מכותל, זה השאלה.
The question was that I didn't open the door so often, just to clean for Pesach. So the shaila was if the mezuzah need to be outside or inside. If the door, she has din like koisel or like a door.
בפנים?
No, I finished talking, that's all.
מבפנים בכלל, ממש מבפנים, זה הכי טוב לשים שם. אז פה זה ודאי לא טוב.
זה כן טוב, בדיעבד זה טוב. אבל שאלה להתחיל איך לעשות. אז אם זה דלת שנפשט הצורך, אתה פותח אותה, אז זה דלת, אז שם הפתח.
אפילו אם אני פותח את זה רק פעם בשנה. כן, פיין.
כשצריך אתה פותח.
פיין.
מתי שתצטרך, אתה צריך.
בסדר גמור.
The funny thing is that after Reb Chaim told me to change the location of the mezuzah from outside to inside, so everyone come to my house can see a mezuzah, like a goyish house, because the mezuzah is inside.
Good morning.
This is the second bikur. It was 8 years ago.
שכוח גדול הרב שהרב טרח והגיע.
אני צריך על כל המחתרים.
ברוך השם. התשובה של הרב מחיות אותנו.
Reb Chaim immediately came. He said that he answered me about all the letters that I sent. Reb Chaim always think about Torah. You see a person, he just think what he wrote to him in the Torah. Now it's became, before I printed my sefer Dovke B'Tshuve, this is the visit before the sefer was finished, and I asked Reb Chaim some questions about the sefer on the B'Tshuve.
כל הקטע הזה חדש. היה בו מיטה באמצע הסלון, מצאתי אותם לזה לתקן. ביאנקב, ביאנקב יישב, כן.
As you can see, there was one stubborn bug all over the video.
בספר שאלתי את הרב, שומע כאוינה בווידוי, צורך חיוני מעני. הרב כתב ודאי שלוי.
שומע כאוינה בווידוי, if someone says וידוי, and he don't say it with his own mouth, he just hear from someone else to say the וידוי, if it's okay or not. That was the question.
צורך חיוני.
כן, הרב הסתפק בזה.
הסבורה שאין לזה טעם.
אין לזה טעם. בסדר? אז ההלוכה הראשונה ברמב"ם מלכס תשובה, שמי שעובר עבירה, אפילו בשויגג, אפילו דרבנון, צריך להגיד וידוי. חוץ מהרב שהוא צדיק יסוד אוילום ועוד כמה בודדים.
It's another question about the vidui, because the Rambam wrote a nusach how to say exactly the words of vidui, but no one in the world said those words. So I asked Chaim why. So I told him that he for sure not need to say the vidui because it's tzaddik yesod oilom, but other people who need to say the vidui because they have here and there some chatoim, why they didn't say the actually nusach that the Rambam wrote? That was the question.
שנער יספרם, קשה למצוא אנשים שלא עוברים אפילו בשויגג, לא ראינו אנשים שכל היום אומרים וידוי.
כל היום?
כל פעם שעוברים.
חשבנו, בגדנו.
וזה יוצא ידי וידוי.
The answer is that when you say in the daven, חותנו, הובינו, this is the vidui that you should say. You don't have to say the exact words that the Rambam said.
עושים וידוי, כשאומרים חותנו, כי חותנו. חותנו זה הווידוי.
הרב ארן, חתן של רבי עזר פלצ'ינסקי.
בתפילה כשאומרים סלח לו, הבינו כי חותנו. חותנו יוצאים וידוי. במילה חותנו שאומרים בתפילה.
רק רציתי כמה ברוכס.
יוצאים וידוי גם?
אז בואו.
The bug.
שומע כהונה באגודה, לפי מה שהקילסיאנקב כותב ששומע כהונה
באגודה.
לא מועיל לחברו, כמו משמת אני לא מועיל.
באגודה כתוב הגדתו.
אז כל אחד אבל צריך לספר.
צריך להגיד.
אז לא מעני שומע כהונה.
ואם הסבא נמצא ואבא, אז האבא גם צריך להגיד.
בליל פסח ובליל הסדר, we had to be mesaper all the agoda for the children. And if the father is sitting at the table and the grandfather also, so the father can't say, my father is going to say the agoda and I'm potur. No, each of them need to be mesaper to the children by himself.
לא מועיל מה שהסבא אומר ולא יועיל שומע כהונה.
אפילו ששומע פלוטו.
יש שיילה, יהודי אחד נפטר לפני 3 שנים, אחיו עכשיו נולד לו בן, הוא רוצה לקרוא לבן שלו על שם אחיו שנפטר לפני 3 שנים, זה בסדר?
יכול או מה לא?
יכול לקרוא. בסדר?
It's not a problem to call a name on someone who passed away young. It's not a problem. It's okay to give his name. Yeah. No. Chaim loved my tie. He loved my tie. He catch me.
כמה? תשובות שלו, קיבלת אותו? כן, הביאו לי את כל התשובס, יש לי שיילה אחת במזוזה.
The secret is like this. You can't bring Reb Chaim, even you have 100 million questions to him, you can't bring him to your house without a shaila in mezuzah. Because Reb Chaim was the expert in Ilches mezuzah. And mezuzah, he can't be poisek until he saw it with his own eyes. So if you want to grave him to your house, you need a shaila in mezuzah. Something like 60 years ago. Yeah.
פעם האחרונה שהרב היה פה, אמרתי לרב שהמזוזה שלי הייתה בחוץ. עכשיו זה, הדופן הזאת, זה דלת, אלא למעשה שאני לא פותח אותה כל השנה. בדרך כלל אני פותח אותה רק בפסח בשביל לנקות. אז הרב אמר לי שעדיף שאני אעביר את המזוזה לבפנים. ככה עשיתי. אחרי זה התעוררתי, שמה עם הדין של החוירי הדלס? הרב מביא שרוב הראשונים סבירה לו כמו הרמב"ם, שהחוירי הדלס פסול אפילו בדיעבד. רק הטור אומר שבדיעבד מעני.
זה לא החוירי הדלס, הולכים שם.
פה זה נקרא הולכים, אין לזה דין החוירי הדלס? אין לזה דין החוירי הדלס.
So the question was, the first time he told me to put the mezuzah inside. But the problem is that there is one halacha that mezuzah behind the door, it's possible. So I asked him, so how you told me to put the mezuzah inside? Because here inside is behind the door. So he said behind the door is just if you can't walk over there. But if it's behind the door, but you're walking over there, so it's fine. The other one? No, it's finished, no? Yes. Okay.
Anyone have any questions or anything? You could just, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, this is a very casual session. I mean, again, not casual in terms of what, really, but
No, the meaning was this, that he passed away young, yeah, for sure, yeah. Again? Even if he's
sick, if the person they're naming.
Yeah. This was the question about the person was sick, yeah. So now we say.
What was the child?
The first child or the second child? The first child was that I opened my door house is 2 parts. One part stays and one part's open. So the shaila was I can open it, but I never open it just in Pesach. I need to clean over there, so I open the door. So the question was if the door has din of like koisel or like a door. Yeah, so the nafkamina were to put the mezuzah inside or outside. So he said, put it inside. Yeah, he said because you open it even once a year, it's still door. When you want to open it, you open it. It's not a wall. It's not a wall. So it's like a door. Not on the gate, inside. And the other question was, after I put the mezuzah inside, but there is a loche that mezuzah behind the door, it's possible. So he said it's possible just if you can't walk over there. But if you can walk after the door, it's okay. Say there. Let's see. Let's put it this. Yeah. No, it seems like this because when you came to my house, you can't find the mezuzah just after you came in. No, if he said to put it there, it's not a halachic question. You want me to put a sign, the mezuzah inside? They found them by themselves. It's okay. Now. The people all the time ask about the watches that Reb Chaim didn't love. The men go with watch. So the story was like this. He didn't mention it from himself. No. Watches anytime. The problem was like this. When the Chazon Ish wife passed away, so the Stipler and his wife and Reb Chaim moved to the Chazon Ish house. And they lived with him a few years to take care of him. So they saw lots of things inside the house that no one else can see, just who lived with him. So after the Chazon Ish passed, the Stipler asked Reb Chaim to write all the things that he saw in the house, how the Chazon Ish act. But Reb Chaim didn't want to take the responsibility on him, so he didn't write it. But after his father died, after the Stipler died, Reb Chaim decided that he wrote all the things. One of the things that he saw that the Chazon Ish bimakpid is watch for men. And Chazon Ish said that the watch for men, there is chshash lo yilabash gever simlas isho. Chshash. But Reb Chaim chshash, deoraisa, esfek, deoraisa lechumre. We tried to explain Reb Chaim something like million times, that the watches in the Chazon Ish time and the watches in our time is two separate things. In this time it was mamesh tachshit. Today every child has a watch, it's very normal, it's not tachshit. The Chazon Ish said, that's all. With Reb Chaim's looking, like you can't bichoilek on Abaye, Verove, Reb Yehuda, Reb Shimon, Tanoim v'Amoiroim, the Chazon Ish was Braise. What the Chazon Ish said, done. Yeah. Rav Eliashiv, no. The Rav Eliashiv wasn't Chazon Ishnik. Yeah, he wore a watch, yeah. I don't know if the Rav Eliashiv or knew about it at all, because Reb Chaim didn't mention it just many years after. After Rav Eliashiv passed, he started to, yeah. The hat and the little shirts, not the little, the short shirts, and the watches, yeah.
When I went to visit Reb Chaim, again, this is not about me, it's about Reb Uri and Reb Chaim, but when I went to visit Reb Chaim in 2017, so I sat down, and the Gabi then was Yankee Kanievsky, so he started touching my hat. So I thought like the brim wasn't straight, so I started flipping it down, and he started like playing with it and started flipping it up. So I again started flipping it down. It was one of those things that Reb Chaim was makbid on to wear the brim up and not the brim down. But why was he makbid on that?
The Chazon Ish said, it's also from the Chazon Ish. The Chazon Ish said that it's modern. The original Jewish before the Holocaust was going without knage. So all the things of Kedusha, like the short shirts and watches and without the knage, all these things start in the last years. Before it, 15 years ago, he talked nothing about all these things. All the things of Kedusha, like animals on the shirts or English letters, he didn't like it because it thinks to him it's not pure. So, and all the things of Kedusha becomes the later years. Also, all the years he sit and there was a library behind him. But in the last years, because he started to be makpid more about the Kedusha things, he decided that it's not respect to the Sforim, that his back is to the Sforim. So he changed his place. All the years, he sit with the standard, with his back behind the Sforim. In the last years, you all know, he sit in other place. It's all because at the last years, he be makpid more and more, not just at aloche, at Kedusha things. It's also one of the Kedusha things. It's looked like to him that people who did the payos behind the ear shame on the payos, so they try to hide them and say, why do you embarrass your payos? Do it normally. That was the reason. Chasdei Hashem, Chasdei Hashem. Explanation? With button? What's the problem with button? Maybe just before the Heretz, no, because the Heretz, not something else. To do chesed, that's all.
But Reb Elliot happens to be that in Reb Chaim's Sefer in Orchos Yosher, where he talks about payas, so he does speak about having the payas in the front, but he does say that in America, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't he write this in Orchos Yosher? He says that it could be with the payas. Is it with the beard or with the payas? He says that in Eretz Yisrael, it's Achsher Dara, so you could wear, there in Eretz Yisrael, they wear the payas in the front. It could be, like you said, Chutz La'aretz. He said still it hasn't reached the shores of Chutz La'aretz. They still wear it behind their ears. I think he does right then in Orchos Yosher, right? I just also on a personal note, it's really you shared that story. So we didn't have children for 5.5 years. So we were. My father Shalom was very close to Rabbi Sol David Schlesinger from Monsey. He was one of the Rosh Miyasim of the shul. Bekitzer, some 22 years ago. Rabbi Schlesinger had the schus of being with Reb Chaim Zatzal in a car service from Bnei Brak to Yerushalayim, where Reb Chaim was on his way to perform Sandakois. So they're schmoozing and learning and whatnot. Then he gave them, then Rabbi Schlesinger gave names for brachas, for various inyanim, various bakashas, whatnot. When he came to our names, he gave them my name, my wife's name. Reb Chaim looked at him and said, "Zeivelen haben Kinder bekarev." So Rabbi Schlesinger was like, say that again? He said, Zeivelen haben Kinder bekarev. And our Bakar was born 9 months later. So
the other part is that his son Simche, who born from this, I took him to Reb Chaim, and I told him, this is your son. He born from your blessing. The next video is one of the parts that I sit and learn with Reb Chaim.
והחזון איש כותב שהוא לא משיב על אוכס למעשה. ויש מקום אחד, גם ראיתי אוכס רבינו, שהרב כתב ששאלו אותו אם לסדר את הספר שלו לפי סדר השולחן ערוך, הוא אמר אני לא פויסק. אז מה פשט שהוא לא פויסק?
The Chazon Ish, we all know that was Migdoyle HaPoiskim, but he himself didn't think he's poisek, because he write his sefer and derech halimud, not like psokim, this allowed, this not allowed, on the Seder of the Gemara. So I asked Reb Chaim, so how he put all these psokim in his Sefer in Shoinei Haloches like psokim. The Chazon Ish Gufei didn't write it like this, and he was testimony on himself that is not poisek. In Sefer Orchos Rabbeinu write, the Chazon Ish said, I'm not a poisek. So how you put all the psokim in the Sefer?
לא פויסק, כל החזון איש למעשה. זה גם דרך הנובי.
הספרים שלו לא נתחברו לפסק.
נתחברו
אליו דרך פירוש. אבל אומר יוצא פסק הרבה פעמים ודאי.
אז השאלה היא, בכל מקום שהוא כתב בהרבה מקומות דינים מועילים. ובהרבה מקומות הוא לא כתב את זה. השאלה היא במקומות שהוא לא כתב את זה, זה מחמד שהוא את זה, הוא לא התכוון שזה יהיה באמת לפסק? אותו דבר. אז למה פעם כתב פעם לא?
איפה שנחוץ, איפה שנחוץ לעשות מסקונה, שידעו, אז עושה את הקיצור.
fine.
The Chazon Ish write many places, dinim oilim, the maskones. In the end of the Simen, he wrote maskones. In many places, he don't write it, just on the Seder of the Gemara. So what's the difference between them? So Reb Chaim said, there is places that it was needed to be maskones to be much more clear. The other places, you don't need to write it. Let's find out. This is a good question. I asked Reb Chaim where he is, if the Chazon Ish mentioned him, if in one of his forum. So he said yes, he mentioned me, but not with my name. He write the Teirutz on one kusha that I give him. So one chapter in the Chazon Ish is because Reb Chaim's kusha, and he show me where it's written.
הרב עצמו לא מוזכר פה, זה החזון איש? הרב הקשר על זה? באיזה עניין זה? מעניין איפה זה? עובדן על החזון איש?
מביא תשובה על זה.
It's something like 15 years ago. The range of the site of Reb Chaim can see was 2 meters. I don't know how it's 6 feet. Okay. So that was the range, the normal range that he saw. And I put the video, the guy with the video was standing behind the wall, and they opened the window, and he put the video over there. But one time he catch me.
זה הקושייה נשאר אותי.
על זה הולך על זה. אבל נשאלתי?
נשארתי.
So, let's see.
Does everyone know, I mean, I'm assuming you do, but just in case, does everyone know the story with Simcha Wyman, the photographer? Everyone knows that story already? Okay, good. So, no, there are... It's good to hear it anyways, just Simcha Wyman is a well-known photographer in Lakewood. Many, many years ago, as a bacher, he ended up in Bnei Brak, and somehow he left his tefillin in Yerushalayim, so he slept in Letterman's shul, was going to get a ride back from Bnei Brak to Yerushalayim early. To make a long story short, he had his camera with him. He was a budding photographer at the time. And it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and he goes outside, and he sees Reb Chaim, and he notices that Reb Chaim he was feeding a cat, right? He was feeding a cat. So Reb Chaim looked up at him, and he saw he has a camera, and he said, "No, you can't take the picture." He was going to grab a shot of him. B'kitzer, he took the picture. Reb Chaim realized he took the picture, and he was displeased, to say the least. And he made some Hawaiian take out the roll of film, and that ruined that picture. Fast forward many years later, and Simcha decided to take his son, who was bar mitzvah at the time, to get a bracha from Reb Chaim. So he brings him into Reb Chaim. Reb Chaim looks at him and says, "I've been waiting for you for 25 years to ask Mechila," because he felt it was very bad what he did, that he made him lose the film. Okay, it's unbelievable, right? About a month later, Simcha Wyman went back to him again. Reb Chaim had no recollection who he was. So, of course, when you say, the koyach of the shikha that Reb Chaim had, the way he worked with Reb Chaim, and we know this, because Reb Chaim also used to daven for this. Reb Chaim davened that he should forget anything unrelated to Torah. This particular story was Torah related. He owed a mechila to someone in his mind. For 25 years, the vision of Simcha Wyman was etched in his memory. Once he did what he had to do, and he asked mechila from Reb Simcha, it wasn't a guy anymore, and they moved on.
Mistome, yeah. I'm not a teacher, you don't need to sign. No, the other guy. Who is there? Grasshoppers are the Hagav. How you, what a strange words you have in your language. The story is the Hagav, you didn't hear him? Okay. The story is the Hagav was like this. Reb Chaim wrote a sefer called Karnei Chagovim. Karnei Chagovim is all the details about death. Yeah. So you need the knowledge how the death is look like. And he never saw it in reality. So once he going at the time exactly that he needs to know the details, how it's exactly look like, so he goes in the house, and suddenly Dad go on the wall, walking on the wall. And there isn't that in Bnei Brak, so it's not normally that it's walking on the wall. Suddenly, exactly at the minute that he need to know how it's look like. And it's not just walking on the wall. Reb Chaim took a good look. The death was surrounding, that Reb Chaim can look from all sides how it's look. After he do the dancing, and he go out. So it was exactly what Reb Chaim needs to the Sefer. And after many years ago, many years after, they do shiputzim. Yeah, they do a new destruction in the house. They broke walls and they built another ones. And this wall that was on it, he didn't want no one touch it. He said, where is a miracle in this wall? It's supposed to stay for the memory. That. He told me that it was once. The Rebbetzin told me that it was a second time, but the Reb Chaim told me that it was one time. I don't know. I don't like stories, just the stories that I heard from Reb Chaim himself. The next, again? Yeah. So the next video is a story that I told Reb Chaim, and look how we react to this.
זונדל קרויזר. הוא היה איתו מייסה עם רב זונדל קרויזר, שיהודי אחד הגיע אליו בשביל ברוכה לשידך. אז הוא אמר לו שהוא רוצה שהרב יגזור עליו שישתדך השנה. הוא ביקש ממנו בגלל שצדי גויזר.
One guy came to Reb Zundel Kreuzer and asked broche for shidduch. And Reb Zundel Kreuzer said, I'm not a tzaddik. Tzaddik Goizer. I'm not a tzaddik. So he push him, give me a broche for shidduch. And finally he says, you know what? He said like this, Im I'm tzaddik, I'm goizer, you have a shidduch this year. So I asked Reb Chaim, be goizer on another person, like this.
בגלל שצדיק גויזר, אז הוא אמר לו אני לא צדיק. אז אחרי זה הוא חשב, הוא אמר ככה, אם אני צדיק, אני גויזר שתשתדך השנה, ובאמת תשתדך. אולי גם הרב יגיד ככה?
אני אין סופק.
נכון, זה בטוח. בטוח שאתה צדיק, זה ברוכה.
Amen. Reb Chaim said, I can say that because I have no doubt. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, the other one. Yo. One guy came to Reb Zundel Kreuzer and asked broche for shidduch. And Reb Zundel Kreuzer said he can't mevarch because just tzaddik goizer. He's not tzaddik. So he pushed him to give him a broche. And finally he said, if I'm tzaddik, I'm goizer, you have a shidduch this year. So I asked Reb Chaim to be goizer about someone else. He was very ill. He asked me to go with him to Reb Chaim. If I'm tzaddik, I'm goizer, you're going to be healthy. And so Reb Chaim said, I can say it because I have no doubt. I know that I'm not tzaddik. I have no doubt about this. Not a tzaddik, of course, yeah.
Rav Chaim's Gabbai, his name is Rav Avi Saruzi, one of the Gabbayim. Yeah. So he asked Rav Chaim gets, everyone wants him for Sandukayas. So he asked him, who gives you more Sandukayas? I'm saying this because it's connecting to Rav Uri said. Who gives you more Sandukayas? The Ashkenazim or the Sfardim? So he said, the Sfardim give me the cover the Sandukayas more than Ashkenazim. So he asked why. So he said, because the Ashkenazim know the truth.
Also, it's funny to say about the Sfardim and Ashkenazim. So, on one of the videos that I actually narrated some years ago when Shlomo Kanievsky came into America to raise funds. So he was relating a story that where the disciple was a real takif. Where people used to come in, and assumedly it was with the Sephardim, they would try to kiss his hand, and the disciple would basically shoo them away. But Reb Chaim, though, they would come in, and there was no problem. They used to kiss his hand all the time. So Shlomo asked, like, what's the difference between, how come you're not noig like the Tata? So he said, like, where am I going to go? Get into an argument every time someone wants to kiss my hand? Kush und gay. Let them kiss my hand and go. Finish. Weitergegangen. That was it.
The next video is about person who dream a bad dream about other person. Who needs to do that of Ascholoim? The dreamer or the person you dream about him? So I asked Reb Chaim about it because I had a bad dream on Kanievsky, and I think that he should do that of Ascholoim, and Ari said, no, I should do that of Ascholoim, and see what Reb Chaim poised. Rabbi is Shai's son, the oldest. No, this, the other one.
מה שלום הרב? חלמתי חלום רע על רב אריה ואמרתי לו שהוא צריך לעשות אותו בסחולואים. הוא אומר לי, אתה חלמת, אני צריך לעשות אותו בסחולואים. מי צודק? הוא צודק. אני צריך לעשות, לא זה שחלמתי עליו. אבל אם אני כהן,
הוא כהן,
מתי אני אעשה אותו בסחולואים?
To say אותו בסחולואים, you need to say some psukim. So I'm Kohen also. So if I'm do the Birkas Koyanim, I'm not living in America, in Eretz Israel we do the Birkas Koyanim. If I do the Birkas Koyanim, I can say it at the same time other psukim. So how can I do? What can I do?
צריך לחשוב על זה.
מה לחשוב שמה?
לפרש את זה לטויבו.
לחשוב ירוצן שכל חלומות שחלמתי יהיו לה לטויבו?
אף על פי שכתוב בגמרא שכל החלומים הולכים אחר הפה. ופה אני לא אומר בפה, רק אני מערער את זה.
אומר בפה יברך אחו, זה גם מספיק.
זה מספיק. פיין.
And you think about the dream, it's enough. Halacha lemaise. Moran Zatzal, the most precious thing in the world that he had is the time. He keeps his time very, very, every minute, every second was used to Torah. And even so, he wastes thousands of hours to answer people in Kabbalah's call and letters. And the reason for it, the main reason, there is three reasons for it, but the main reason was he was Rachman. He was Merachem al Abriois. The question was, why the Chochmeh is going so slow? The Chochmeh is last Sefer, and it's going, on Kochim, and it's going very slow. Reb Chaim was very quick person. Everything was quickly. And this Sefer was very, very slowly. And I asked him, why it's so slowly? Why it's not moving? So he said, the letters. The people sent me 80 letters a day. And he was Rachman. He wanted to answer all of them. And not just answer all of them. At the same day, it entered his house. To do chesed inside chesed. And he preferred to answer people, and his own sefer was stuck. Yeah, it's known thing that he has a box on the table, and all the letters that he get at the same day was mesudarim, like Kohen, Levi, Israel. And Koyanim, he answered first. So there was some people who do a trick. They ask Kohen to send the questions for them.
It's actually interesting. I have in my house, I have a whole bunch of envelopes where Reb Chaim would, after I guess answer the chuvas, he would put them in. But you can see, like on the envelopes, for example, there are 4 names on there, and based on whom he responded to, and the Kohanim's names he underlined. Now Reb Uri doesn't know this, but one of the envelopes that I actually own has Reb Uri's name in there. He said, I told you about it? Okay, fine.
אני עומד באמצע פרק ב' ובלי הסמידש. כי המכתבים מחתים בזמן.
לא כדאי יותר להשקיע עליו.
אני חושב ככה, רחמנס מכתבים, נשים עושים תשובה. וזאת קצת זמן. לא חשוב. כן, את המכתבים. כן.
ממש כל כך הרבה.
לפעמים 80 מכתבים.
לא.
אני חושב לאט לאט, אני מבינה, המכתבים.
Rachmanis. There is the issue of names. I suppose the American people love this. The names subject. Reb Chaim, you know, many changes, many names he changed. Every name is not from the Torah, or it's not mikubel for generation. It's a new name. You don't allow this. You know the story about Shira? There was one guy who decided to call his daughter Shira. Where is... Oh, no, not you, not you. But so there was one guy who decided to call his daughter Shira. What's the reason? She born in Shabbos Shira. So he said it to Reb Chaim. And Reb Chaim told him, and if your daughter was born in Shabbos Poro, you called her Poro? It's not a name that we used it in the generation. It's a modern name. He doesn't love modern names. That was the rule. Yeah, Mr. Tommy. What? Yeah, of course, yes. It's good.
עוד שאלה, לייב, כמו אריה שקוראים לו אריה לייב, כותבים את זה עם שני יהודים או יהוד אחת?
שום בעיה.
איך אתה חותר?
שתי יהודים כותבים את זה.
מה הדין במי ש... אוי רוזוקן. מה הדין במי שכותב תמיד עם אחד? אז איך נגיד יכתבו לו בקסובה?
יכתוב עם שתי יהודים.
תמיד שתי יהודים, בסדר?
דליה בת רחל.
זה מה שכתבו.
טיגרי יושב איתו.
לא שמעתי כזה.
אז לא צריך לשם.
קראו לה, אני יודע.
לא צריך להוסיף.
לא שם שבוי.
אז לא צריך להוסיף למעשה?
There's few names. The first name was Leib, if it be written with two yuds or one yud. So he asked Aryeh, his grandchild, because Aryeh called Aryeh Leib. So he asked him, how you write your name? And after Aryeh said, with two yuds, he said, Kvar hoi rozoken. There isn't in this video, but I asked Reb Chaim once, why all the world write his name with two yuds, Kanievsky, with two yuds after the nun, kuf, nun, double yud. But he himself writes with one yud. Why is this? So he told me, everyone wrong. Why is this? Why it happened? After his father, the stipler, passed, one journalist in the paper, he wrote a big article and wrote Kanievsky with two yuds. And since then, everybody is mistaken after him. This was the reason. Now it's about the name Dalia.
איזה שם יש לו?
אז זה מה שאני שואל.
אין שם נורמלי,
מספיק להוסיף. כן, ואם לא צריך לשנות מעיקורי. כן. ומה לגבי הכסובה? לגבי הכסובה שלו. אם הוא משנה לגמרי, הוא צריך לשנות גם בכסובה?
אז קראו לו ככה.
If person change his name, if he needs to change also the ksube or not, also the ksube or not. So he said no. At the time that you write the ksube, that was your name. You don't need to touch the ksube.
אז קראו לו ככה.
אז אפילו אם הוא משנה לגמרי ולא רק מוסיף, אפילו אם הוא משנה לגמרי. בסדר? ומעיקורי,
הוא צריך רק לשנות לגמרי או רק להוסיף שם? הרב אומר שתלוי בשם שהיה לו.
תלוי איזה שם היה לו.
בסדר גמור.
היה שם משונה, שיחליף.
המהדורות החדשות של השולחן.
יש פה 4 הסוגיות של הרב ובכלל
I show you one video. I told you yesterday about my Sefer Ledovke B'Tshuvo. And there is a nice video that you can see how Reb Chaim was worried about the Sefer. Every time I came to him, when you're going to print it? When you're going to finish it? He was mamish take interest in the Sefer.
מתקדם, הנה, סיימתי פרק ד' הלוכי בייס.
כל יום אני מקבל.
כן? מה היינו עושים בלי הרב? הספר שלו לא שווה גרוש בלי הרב.
שווה.
ברוך השם.
היה עוד שתי קונים.
בעזר השם. קצת אני מסיים. אתמול סיימתי פרק ד' הלוכי בייס, קצת אני מסיים.
כל יום חושב על הדפים שלו.
ברוך השם. הרב יודע שהספר שלי לא שווה גרוש בלי הרב. בלי הגויס של הרב.
אבל המחבר שווה.
המחבר באמת לא שווה. שלום הרב ושלום הרב. בואו שמואל. מתקדם בתשוב בפרק הלוכי. קצת אנחנו לא זריזים כמו הרב.
אתה יצא כבר הספר.
נו, הרב ייתן ברוכה שיצא, אני יש לי טירדס כל הזמן. אמן.
אתה טיגר, כתבת לך אלף מכתבים.
ברוך השם, הגויס של הרב מהירות את העיניים. מה היינו עושים בלי הגויס של הרב? ממש נותן חשק להמשיך לכתוב. אני עכשיו כבר גמרתי פרק ה', פרק ו' הלוכי א'. מתשובה.
כמה פרקים יש?
10 פרוקים.
נו, תגמור כבר.
הלוואי. הרב יכתוב לי הרבה, אני כותב יותר מהר. זה מאוד ממריץ.
אני עונה לי על השאלות.
כן. נו, ברוך השם.
מה שתכתוב יותר שאלות?
לי יותר תשובות. בסדר.
מדפיס את הספר.
נו, מה אני יכול לעשות? יש 10 פרוקים, אני פרק ו' הלוכי א' עכשיו.
נראה לך ביד לא כל המכתבים.
הלוואי, הנה, הבאתי היום חבילה חדשה.
אז כולם יום אחד וגמרנו.
הבאתי היום חבילה, נו, אני אחכה עד שהרב יענה לי על הכל עכשיו.
אז השם, תביא את החבילה שלו.
תכף לתלמיד חוכם ברוכה.
שלוש, אתה ראשון.
זה ייקח מדי זמן לחכות, יש פה מדי הרבה שאלות,
אבל זה דברים קצרים, זה לא דברים ארוכים.
אתה תשב?
או אני אשב, או אני אחכה.
תן לו כוס תה.
פה יש תה לסבא, זה לרב טיגר. שכויה.
אתה כותב הכל דברים נכונים?
כן, זה פותח אמיר. רק שני עולים.
מה רצו שם ברמב"ם?
זה הרמב"ם.
רצו קודם.
צריכים להביא את הרמב"ם.
שם. זה ניסים גלויים.
שכוח גודל הרב.
טיגר הוציא את הספר החדש. בא להביא את זה.
יצא היום מהדפוס.
כן, עם כל ההגאות של סבא.
מגיע לך גם אז טוב, נכון? שוטף, מה השאלה? בואי נדב יצטרם אותו גם? יש לו... עוד מעט יתקדמו איתך, אל תדע, לא מוותר לך.
יש לו כויר.
אמן. מה זה? הלכנו פה? כן? חשבתי שהוא פה.
מקווה שלא.
היה לו מספיקים טובים.
יש פה... קצת הוא רוצה, זה יין שלנו, לחיים, על הספר, הוא השקיע על זה הרבה.
3 שנים.
הגופן.
רוצים ברוכה לסיים עוד ספורים.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming. We have to stop only because the closing keynote session at the beginning. Feel free to stay. Buri, I'm sure will be glad to answer. Oh, you're going also to the keynote session. Oh, okay. Give a bracha. Give me a bracha.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.